In today's video, we're checking out some of my favorite apps for the iPad mini 6 and the iPhone 12 mini. This is my awesome mini Apple ecosystem and I love it. So we're gonna jump in, starting with my red iPhone 12 mini. For the iPhone, I wanted to keep things sleek and simple. So I only have one page on the home screen and then the app library. And that's the way I like it. I don't have too much clutter on here. And for me, that's awesome. And as far as apps go, I keep it simple in that area as well. I've got Google Calendar, which allows me to keep track of my work. And then I've just got the calendar, the clock app, mostly stock apps up at the top, followed by just a few apps that I use on a regular basis, like Snapchat, YouTube, and TikTok right there in terms of my social game. And then I keep it real with some Subway Surfers when I get bored. You know, you can't go wrong with the classics. And then I've got my bank account, and I love some Starbucks, so I got that on there too. And down at the bottom, I'm keeping it pretty simple here too, with just the phone and the Safari and the messaging and the music app. So over on my iPad, I actually mixed it up a little bit, and we've got some apps that I use on a regular basis. For me, when I want to go ahead and dive into an application or spend time with something, I typically go for the iPad so that I can expand out and really enjoy it. So you'll find that most of my apps actually live on my iPad, and I have two here on this page, followed of course by a few miscellaneous apps inside of the app library. One of course is Hot Lava, which comes from the Apple Arcade, and that's a really fun game. So I would say if you've got the time and you've got the subscription, you might as well go ahead and give it a shot, because I've downloaded it, I've had a good time playing it, there's a lot of fun to be had inside this game. If you got a few minutes to kick back and do something, this is a good app to explore. It's kind of a 3D world that you can run around in and play games and have a good time. And I'm a huge fan of this application. And again, it's called Hot Lava. Totally recommend this one. It is a ton of fun. That brings us back out to the home screen. I've got Netflix and TikTok, so I can jump in, watch some content on my iPad, and then Flipboard. Flipboard is a great way to keep track of all of your news articles. So you can pick topics that you find interesting and dive into them deeper, so you can keep track of major news in the stock market. In my case, I like Apple, so I've got a whole section where I can just keep track of new Apple products coming out. It's really cool and a great way to just kick back and get some news in the morning. Then I've got YouTube Studio right here. Being a cellular iPad, I actually use this on the go, so I have the Waze application. I'm not gonna open it up because it's GPS based and it's gonna give away my top secret location. But I totally recommend it. If you're looking for a good maps app and you haven't heard of it yet, Waze is the way to go. It is crowdsourced, so everybody using Waze can update you on where traffic light cameras are, where police are parked for speed traps and things like that, so that you're a better informed driver. And even on top of that, if there's a road blockage or a road closure or anything like that, a car stopped on the shoulder, people will stop and alert you on here. So it's just something that I typically run in the background while I'm driving. I did some photography work earlier in 2021. Moving into 2022, I hope to expand that. But these are a few of the apps that I use on a regular basis. Snapseed is a really solid editing application. Got different tools and brushes. I want to remove the speaker on that iPhone. I can make quick adjustments like that, and I can also go in and do all kinds of other things as well. Let's say I want to add some text on this photo. I can quickly add text to it and do simple edits inside of Snapseed. Let's hop in and talk about Lumafusion. Lumafusion is a huge, amazing leap forward in video editing for the iPad. Very similar to Final Cut Pro. So if you're familiar at all with the Final Cut Pro workflow, it's pretty similar in terms of its layout and feature set with a magnetic timeline, video effects, clips, and things like that. You've got full access to all of the videos on your iPad, and it is my go-to video editing software for this YouTube channel. If I'm gonna jump up and do some more professional work, I definitely jump over to Final Cut Pro. But what's really nice about Lumafusion is you can actually start a project here and export it as a Final Cut timeline. So just throwing that out there. It, I believe, runs for around $20 and is well worth the price. I've also got a couple Apple apps down here. I've got Numbers and Pages, you know what those are for, and Fruit Ninja Classic, another great one from Apple Arcade. If you're anything like me, you grew up playing Fruit Ninja, and when I saw it in Apple Arcade, it was a must-have application for me. So I don't really necessarily play it all that often, but it's a lot of fun to have on here when I just want to kick back and play a quick game. Same with Solitaire. You know what Solitaire is. It's a fun game to just kill some time with. This is one that probably won't be too handy for the vast majority of people watching this, but IRFR is an app that allows you to control lighting consoles from your iPad. So specifically ETC lighting consoles. Since I work at a performing arts center, it gives me quick access to all of the faders and submasters that I've written. A lot of this won't make any sense to you, but if you happen to be a lighting designer, it's well worth the price. It's $50. It is super helpful. You can advance through your cues in the cue list function. You can get all your direct selects and pick them by channels and focus palettes and so on and so forth. If none of that means anything to you, then this app isn't worth it. If that does mean something to you and you do work in tech theater, it is $50, which seems steep, but the amount of times that I use that application on a day-to-day basis makes it more than worth it. Zillow is another fun application. It's a real estate app. I like to look at houses I'll never be able to afford, and that is why I have Zillow on my iPad. Pigment is a fun application. I recently picked up an Apple Pencil. I did an unboxing here on the channel, and it is a simple, fun way to color and do things on your iPad. Pictures. So like I started drawing this one here just to play with my Apple Pencil. And in terms of widgets, I keep it pretty simple. There's some stuff that I want to have access to on my iPad mini, and those are the clock application, the Robinhood application. I really like to make sure I keep my stocks in view, and I've also got the weather widget. So yeah, I keep it pretty simple on my iPhone. If it's in my hand, it has a reason and a purpose for being in my hand. Same with my iPad. If it's something that I want to do and it's not great on an iPhone, it just doesn't exist on an iPhone. So if you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed the apps, or you have some suggestions on great apps I should download for my iPhone or iPad, drop them in the comments down below. I always love hearing what you guys have on your devices, and hopefully you enjoy checking out videos like this of what I've got on my device. I'll catch you in the next video.